Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Her Excellency Kelly Degnan, U.S. Ambassador to Georgia, UK Deputy Chief of Mission, Claire Albles, dear guests, dear participants. It's a great feeling to see that after 3 months of the discussion fora on the survey, public survey research as the democratic mechanism, we have achieved something very important, and one of the rituals of this kind of achievement we witness now when the representatives of different polling organizations in Georgia sign the code of ethics, which has been prepared during these 3 months. I would like to thank all of the participating parties for their very hard work, as a result of which this code of ethics was created. Especially, of course, Georgian researchers, representatives of polling organizations, our American colleagues from USAID, but also the American experts, excellent experts who have guided this process based on their very rich experience, and some of our Ilia University staff as well, who have done an excellent job. It's a very important event because of many reasons, just some of them being, first of all, that public opinion survey is an important democratic governance mechanism, and we have talked throughout these months a lot about that. Second is, of course, that creating a self-regulating body is important to develop scholarly work as well, and in Georgia, lots of times this discussion about regulation hasn't been very productive because there have always been 2 alternatives: either state regulates or there should be no regulation. But of course, self-regulating institutions are extremely important, and that's one of the institutions of this kind that has been created, and based on that will be created in the coming weeks. And third, of course, it's very important to have a professional organization like the Association of Polling Organizations will be, to develop civil society structures, and I think that in that respect as well, the work of these months will be important. It's a whoever witnessed this forum, these meetings, albeit done virtually, has been impressed by the depth and the width of discussion and how much expertise was already available in Georgia, but also how much the exchange of ideas and opinions have brought to this process. And I'm hope and I'm confident actually that this signing will also lead us to the establishment of the new association and to its very efficient functioning. It's time that, lots of things change, lots of our practices change. We see the readiness with the competence, and I'm sure that establishment of this kind of organization and the values it represents, as well as signing of this code of ethics, will bring us along this road. So thank you very much to everybody, and with great pleasure I pass floor to Ambassador Degnan.
Thank you very much, Rector, and welcome to everyone here today for, as the Rector said, a very important occasion. I'm so pleased to come back 3 months later and see all the good work that you did. Really, back in July, this was an idea, this was an initiative, and no one was 100% sure where it would go. But through your hard work and your willingness to have open discussions and exchange views in a constructive way, I think there's an important achievement that was just signed out there in terms of the Code of Ethics for Polling. So to all of the participants in the Public Opinion Polling Forum, I say congratulations to you. Of course, the purpose of polling is so fundamental, not just during an election time, but in general, because it gives citizens who might not have another channel for expressing their needs and priorities to be heard. And and it gives that opening to political parties to understand what is important, what is necessary for your voters, for your citizens, and to develop policies and platforms that reflect those citizen priorities. What you've done in the last 3 weeks is also part of trying to raise awareness within the public about what polling organizations do, why it's important, how they should look at the information that they're being provided, and of course it gives an extra level of credibility to what you do, because as we've seen here at various times, some polling organizations have been attacked, and there have been efforts to undermine them. So what the initiative that you've just completed here in the sense of signing this code of ethics is an important step to, an important tool, I would say, to refuting those unjust criticisms and to establishing with the public a sense of trust and credibility in your outcomes. This code of ethics, of course, is designed, it reflects a level of collaboration and mutual learning that you all have had in the last 3 months, as well as being designed to develop public trust in also the impartiality of polling. I think really reputable polling organizations know that that's their word, that's golden, and so they need to protect their nonpartisan nature and the impartiality as well as the accuracy of their polling results. Obviously, I think in the course of your discussions, you saw that there's still work to be done. There's still more to discuss, more to agree on, and I'm pleased to see that the Code of Ethics signed by you today is open for others to sign as well. I hope others will be encouraged to do so, because it is your pledge that you're going to abide by the standards, the high standards set in that Code of Ethics, and I hope other polling organizations will too. We need to continue the public education campaign to help the public understand, as I said, how to use polling information and to be able to see the careful work that you do in structuring your polls, and to understand that that is part of why they can rely on these outcomes and the careful work that went into it. So again, I commend you, Gilo Saft. I commend you for this important step forward, and I encourage you to continue this discussion and to really make this forum something that is going to be ever expanding as a place where the polling organizations, the polling researchers, and individual pollsters can share ideas and methodologies and help the public better understand why this is such an important part of the democratic process. So thank you all very much. I'm delighted to be here, and again, congratulations, Gilo Saft, on your hard work.
Well, thank you very much, Ambassador Degnan, and be assured that all of us appreciate very much the support of the US for strengthening Georgian democracy and also supporting in particular this project of developing and establishing Association of Georgian Polling Organizations and the Code of Ethics. US support in this process has been invaluable, and I'm sure that the DNA of this organization will always remember that. So I would like to pass floor now to Claire Albles, UK Deputy Chief of Mission. Please.
Thank you for the introduction, Rector Zadania. It's my pleasure to be here at this concluding event for the valuable discussion series, having been privileged to be at its opening in late July. I'm delighted that we're today celebrating the adoption of the Code of Professional Ethics and Practices formulated by the newly established Georgian Association for Public Opinion and Market Research. If I may echo Ambassador Degnan, public opinion research is essential to a healthy democracy, providing information crucial to informed policy making and giving voice to the citizens' beliefs, attitudes, and desires. I very much hope the new code will help to increase the Georgian public's understanding of and engagement with public opinion research, whether that engagement be participation in public opinion surveys or scrutinizing a set of results in the context of a particular polling circumstance, or being encouraged that results can and should be used as evidence to propose policy change. The Code, of course, also sets out the principles that members of the association will adhere to in carrying out their work. I understand that all involved in its development, researchers, polling organisations, and academic institutions, work together openly and enthusiastically to agree the Code. I'd like to thank them for their commitment and hard work, and congratulate Ilia State University for having coordinated this process so effectively. I'm representing the British Embassy today to highlight our support for public opinion research as one of the indicators of the consolidation of democratic processes in Georgia. The British government is pleased to directly support NDI, the National Democratic Institute, in its programs to strengthen democracy and good governance. We're also pleased to combine our wider embassy efforts with those of our US colleagues and other partners to support Georgia in its democratic progress. The next step in this is undoubtedly the parliamentary elections on the 31st of October. Our embassy, as others, is following the run-up and will be taking part in formal observation. With today's celebratory event in mind, we're also interested to see the extent to which public opinion research contributes to ensuring the electoral process is free and transparent. I have no doubt that the common understanding this discussion series has engendered amongst participants and the new code will only increase this contribution in the months and years ahead. I would again like to congratulate everyone for the achievement of this work over the last 3 months and wish every success for its implementation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Olbers. And thank you for the introductory speeches. And now we go to the keynote speeches of two very important persons in general, but especially in this particular context. These are Professor Peter Miller and Professor Michael Traugott. Both are former APOR presidents who have extensive knowledge and expertise in the subjects which were discussed during this forum, and they have been guiding the process of creation of Code of Ethics with their knowledge, but also providing sufficient space for kind of understanding Georgian realities and expressing Georgian needs in this Code of Ethics, and their counsel has been invaluable. I would like to thank both of them for their wonderful work and give floor to Professor Peter Miller first.
Good evening, colleagues, distinguished guests in Tbilisi. Greetings from Chicago. It has been my great honor and pleasure to collaborate with colleagues in Georgia on the drafting of the Code of Ethics and Practices, which we are celebrating today. I've learned a lot in the process, and I hope that the ideas that I've tried to share with you have been useful in the development of the code. I'd like to just take a minute to share another experience from the States, which might be of interest to those of you who are signing the code today. The American Association for Public Opinion Research, as we've discussed, has had a code of ethics for decades now. And but the American Association is like the one that you are contemplating forming in Georgia, is constituted for a number of reasons. And among those are the ability to make professional contacts, to have sponsor a scholarly journal, to have a website that communicates to the public and to other professionals the important news and values that the association is trying to convey. It also has a listserv that allows the members to communicate among themselves and share methodological ideas. In 2011, the association did a membership survey. Now, this was an attempt to update the association on what the membership saw as valuable to the members. And so members were asked about things that they appreciated or thought were really important about the association. And many of them said that the things I've just mentioned are useful in their professional lives. But 91% of the membership of APOR in that survey reported that the standards and values that were explicated in the Code of Ethics, 91% said it was the most important thing for them in being a member of the association. So I'd like to share this idea with you, to say that decades after the establishment of an association that has a number of benefits to members, the Code of Ethics was viewed as the most important thing that the members saw in having a connection with the association. And I'd like to suggest to you today that this may prove to be the case in Georgia as well, because the code is the bedrock, it's the foundation of the values and the principles that that the association will rest, and it will be a continuing rock for you, a continuing way in which you can express to the public your professionalism and your values, and it will be a way for you to defend yourselves against attacks that may come from parties that seek to undermine what you are accomplishing or trying to accomplish in Georgia. So I wish you all well, and I wish you all the best of luck as the work continues to form the association. And I congratulate you this evening on what you have achieved to this point, and Godspeed.
Thank you very much, Professor Miller. And now I give floor to Professor Michael Traugott, please.
Thank you very much. I also would like to begin by thanking the people assembled today for the opportunity to participate in the process that we have been working on for the past few months. As a survey methodologist, it's been professionally gratifying to interact with the Georgian public opinion research community and to see the consensus that exists among the group members about the nature of the work that we do and the need to maintain and enhance the integrity of the profession. I think that this consensus contributed to the speed with which the document being signed today was drafted, edited, and revised. And of course, the work of Zarina Berkatsi and Ekaterina Leonidze was critical to this work. I want to remind you that you are at the beginning of a process. The code is the first step, and the formation of the association that hopefully will come soon follows. But based upon my own experiences, what will come next is the most difficult part of self-regulation, defending the code itself, and having to do that publicly. Hopefully, these will be rare occurrences, but you know that the process of defense will begin with a complaint. And the complaint could be public or private, but generally the complaint will involve negative news about somebody's work. The association will have to decide whether to appoint a committee to investigate the complaint, and that decision could be public or private. Depending upon the result of the committee's evaluations, and then the council's review of the committee's report, the results could be made public or kept private. If the association, through this process, determines that there was a violation of the Code of Ethics, then that decision will be made public and will include an explanation for why the association arrived at that conclusion. This is the process by which we defend the integrity of the work that we do. And by example or extension, it's a defense of the scientific method which underlies the work that we do. And it's how we maintain public confidence in our profession. I congratulate you on your efforts to date and wish you well in your future endeavors. It's impossible to overstate how significant an accomplishment this has been, especially in the short period of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Traugott. And now it's time to give floor to the most important Georgian participants of this process. And I will proceed alphabetically as we proceeded during the signing ritual, so to say. And I'll ask the representative of ACT to say a couple of words about her experience and take on the process.
Okay. Hello, everybody. First of all, from my side, we would like to express on behalf of ACT our gratitude for this possibility to be part of the process of today's event specifically. We would like to express our gratitude to all parties involved, to our colleagues from Posters and Academia, to Ilia State University, and Zarina specifically for her devotion and time, for USRD, to our great professors for their sharing of experience and their knowledge. We think that we did really a good job from the beginning, and it's only 3 months from the beginning. It's important that we created, it was the first attempt of creation platform for posters where we can share our experience and where we can work together for improvement of the industry, of the standards of the industry. Also, despite the fact that we all are the members of different professional associations, and we all are familiar with different codes of ethics, and not only familiar, I can say that we all work in accordance with these principles. We consider it still a privilege to have our own code of ethics, the code on which we work together. And it was we were very glad to participate in this process. We think that it's very important not only for posters, but also for different groups, society which deserves accurate data and clear explanations regarding the data, for journalists maybe who are main distributors of our data sometimes, for politicians who are also important stakeholders, maybe for students or younger generation which make their first steps in our field. And despite the fact that we are on the closing ceremony, we think that it's only beginning. Thank you again for these great 3 months. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And ANOVA head or representative, I would like to, yes. Please, please.
Hello once again, thank you. So I think Miriam absolutely thoroughly touched the subject, so I would not add anything to that part, but still, once again, I will tell a huge thank you to all of you, everybody, our colleagues from America, our colleagues from Georgia also. I hope Mr. Miller also mentioned that it's really the first step, but still it's the huge step, I think, and that huge step that we stacked together was really important to my mind. So that 3 months that went really smoothly and very collaborative, and in the future I also hope that the process will go like that, like very collaborative also. Yeah, I won't distinguish any of us, and once again I will say that thank you for that huge thing that we've done so far.
So CRC, please.
Hello, everyone. I would also like to start with thanking organizers and participants of this event and of this whole process, which lasted 3 months. But in these 3 months, I think we achieved a significant result that we signed today. But I also agree with Professor Tragut that hard work starts only now, and in theory we should be able to continue work as effectively as we worked for these 3 months. But as one wise person, by the way, not researcher, said, in theory there is no difference between theory and practice. In practice there is. So we should think right now, after signing the document, how to make the association work and how to make our profession, our sector gain more trust and more confidence by the public. Now, if we say that people don't trust polls and don't trust pollsters, this will be exaggeration, because we know from people's responses that most of them trust polls. And we also know from their behavior that they trust us. Several thousand of them talk to us every year about different aspects of their lives and different directions and processes in the country. But this is only something that shows us that we have to work even harder to not to lose this confidence, to strengthen this confidence, and to persuade even those who are skeptical about what we do and how we do things. And this is where the association can achieve significant results and benefits for each of us, because there are things that law regulates, but there are lots of things that law cannot or should not regulate, and that's the idea of the association, to define, agree, and then enforce best principles for the polling, for research in general, and for our service to the public. With this, I want to congratulate each of you that what we achieved, and want to commit my own and my organization's capital, I mean, of course, human capital and nothing else, to hard work with you in this association. And I'm sure in a year we already have some positive results as of our work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have SOMAR, a member among ourselves, so I would like to her to speak.
Hello everybody, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to attend the meeting. And first of all, I want to cordially thank Professor Traugott and Miller. They had a really great job for us. And supported our initiative. And also special thanks to the US Embassy and USAID and Ilia State University, and personal thanks to Zarina Burgadze, who did a lot of work for this forum and with this multi-week forum that we were engaged and doing next steps every week. So thank you everyone, and congratulations to my colleagues that we finally signed the Code of Ethics, which is a big step forward, I think. And during those discussions, I understood that we shared a lot of experience, a lot of ideas, and I understood that research community is ready to establish new association, I mean professional association, and to defend the profession, to defend the research industry, because sometimes it's attacked by different kind of parties. So we need to become, we need to show our commitment to the Code of Ethics, to raise standards and to strengthen the community and strengthen the research industry itself. It's our mission now, and the next step will be most important, because we need, after the establishment of the association, to integrate more internationally adopted standards to move forward, because now in times of when online research is expanding more rapidly, we need to adopt some guidelines about online research and new methods, new techniques. So there is a lot of work and a lot of ideas that we need to adopt and share with our colleagues. So I think it will be very interesting and productive also. So thank you very much once again, and I hope that association will reach all of its very nice goals, and we will strengthen the community. Thank you, and congratulations to my colleagues.
Thank you very much, Nina. And I would like to ask the head of ISSA to take the floor.
Dear distinguished guests, dear colleagues, today and in the last 3 months we've been undergoing a very important process, and now a product, the Code of Ethics and Practices for Social Studies, has been signed, and the Georgian Association for Public Opinion and Market Research is about to be established. The importance of these undertakings should not be underestimated. As it is well known, public opinion, public dispositions and attitudes is one of the effective means to shape local policies in various spheres of social life. On the other hand, in order to reveal public opinion and attitudes, there are no effective instruments available other than polls and, in general, social studies. That is why it is extremely important to push for institutionally professional standards and promote monitoring of the implementation of these standards. This is the main goal and mission of the professional association. Another thing which I would like to underline is the academic background of the association. This institution will not be left without academic support, as it will be affiliated with the high educational institutions to the universities. It is agreed between us that the association will get institutional and conceptual support from universities, and this will be carried out by rotation from one university to another. I am glad that this process starts from Ilia State University, which appeared as a major academic mediator among USAID and our professional community. Many thanks to both, to our donor, USAID, to our donor organization, which is in USAID, and Ilia State University. And a special thanks to Zarina Burgadze, whose contribution in the whole process was huge. I, as a person who comes from both from academia and the polling field, see my role in different directions. A, ensuring and strengthening linkage between universities and the professional association. B, inviting large-scale local stakeholders and experts to become part and be actively involved in the operating process of the association. C, contributing functional of the association in diverse directions, such as training of different target groups in various aspects of research methodology, assessment of ongoing polls in the light of ethic and professional standards, etc. Finally, I am convinced that the establishment of the Georgian Association for Public Opinion and Market Research and adoption of the Code of Ethics will promote and strengthen democratic development of the country, as true voices of the citizens will be heard. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but not least, so Sonari, representative.
პირველ რიგში მინდა მოგესალმოთ ყველას. სასიამოვნო იყო თქვენთან შეხვედრა. მინდა ვილაპარაკო თვითონ ამ ასოციაციის შესახებ. რამდენად მნიშვნელოვანი არის ეს ასოციაცია დღეს ჩვენთან რეალობაში. პირველი თუ ჩვენ წესდებას გადავხედავთ ასოციაციის წესდებას, მოითხოვს გამჭირვალებას, რომ თქვენ ჩვენს მიერ ან კომპანიის მიერ შესრულებული საქმე, რომელიც რა თქმა უნდა ამ ასოციაციის წევრია, იყოს გამჭირვალე. ეს აუცილებელია მან წარმოადგინოს დოკუმენტაცია, მეთოდოლოგიაზე იყოს საუბარი, როგორ რანაირად გააკეთა. და ყოველივე ეს გამჭირვალობა საბოლოო ჯამში იწვევს ის, რომ თვითონ ამ ინდუსტრიის ხარისხი ბაზარზე იქნება, მოთხოვნა იქნება ხარისხზე, ხო? რასაკეთებ, სხვებს უნდა ანახო, სხვებმა უნდა წაიკითხოს. მეორე ყველაზე მნიშვნელოვანი მომენტი ამ ასოციაციის ის არის, რომ სპეკულაცია ხდება ამ ბაზრით. თუ წესდების გამჭირვალობა იქნება დაცული, ამ სპეკულაციას ბოლო მოეღება. გასაგებია ხო? ანუ თუ კვლევის დოკუმენტაცია იქნება წარმოდგენილი, როგორ რანაირად გააკეთა და ასე შემდეგ იქნება აღწერილი, ისე როგორც წესდება მოითხოვს, ხო? სასპეკულაციოდ უკვე ადგილი აღარ დარჩება. იმიტომ რომ კი ბატონო, ჩვენ უყურებთ ამ სფეროს როგორც ბიზნესს, მაგრამ ეს ბიზნესი არა, ნაკლებად. ეს არის პირველ რიგში მეცნიერება, კაცრად ჩამოყალიბებული მათემატიკური მეცნიერება, სადაც ყველაფერის დათვლა და გათვლა შეიძლება. ამიტომ ამ კუთხით, ამ ასოციაციის შექმნა თვითონ მარტო ჩვენთვის თავდადავანებად ინდუსტრიისთვის, რასაც ქვია საზოგადოებრივი აზრის კვლევა, არის აუცილებელი. მეორე მომენტი, ანუ გამოცდილებიდან გამომდინარე, ამ წლების განმავლობაში, განსაკუთრებით ბოლო წლების განმავლობაში, ხშირად საჭირო ხდებოდა ინდუსტრიის დაცვა. აქ არ ლაპარაკი კომპანიაზე არა, ინდუსტრიაზეა ლაპარაკი. კაციშვილი მისი დამცველი არ იყო. ასოციაციას, რა თქმა უნდა, ესეთი თუნდაც ესეთი წევრები და მხარდაჭერები თუ ეყოლება მნიშვნელოვანი მეცნიერები დასავლეთიდან, რომელიც თუნდაც წარმოდგენილი იყვნენ. სერიოზულად შეუძლია თვითონ ეს ინდუსტრია დაიცვას და განავითაროს თვითონ საქართველოს ფარგლებში. და ამის აუცილებლობა უკვე არსებობს, იმიტომ რომ საკმაოდ კარგი და ჩამოყალიბებული კვლევარები არსებობს საქართველოში, ეს იყო წინა შეხვედრაზე, ეს კრიტიკული მასა უკვე დაგროვილია და საჭიროა მოწესრიგება. ზოგადად როგორც მეცნიერება არ გაქრეს. აი ასე შეიძლება ითქვას, რომ ასეც იდგა საკითხი და ასეც დგას საკითხი. და ეს ის ასოციაციის წევრობა, ხო, ერთნიშნულად რას გააკეთებდა, აი ამ ორაზროვნებას უკვე მოხსნიდა. ამიტომ მე მივესალმები ამ ასოციაციის შექმნას. განსაკუთრებით კი ჩემთვის ძალიან კარგი იქნება, რომ არა როგორც ბიზნესი, აქ როგორც მეცნიერული ხასიათის განვითარება თუ მიექცევა ასოციაციაში ყურება. იმიტომ რომ ხალხმა დაინახოს, რომ ეს არა ბიზნესი, არც პოლიტიკა, ესა მეცნიერება. და მე დარწმუნებული ვარ თვითონ საქართველოს მოსახლეობის ნიჭით და უნარით, რომ შეუძლიათ საკმაოდ განავითარონ ეს ინდუსტრია საქართველოში და ასოციაცია შეუძლია სერიოზული დახმარება გაუწიოს ამ თვალსაზრისით. მადლობთ ყურადღებისათვის.
Well, unfortunately, there was this technical problem with translation. There was some mixed up with the whether it should have been done within Zoom or outside. So I'm going to summarize what was said by our colleagues. So first of all, the importance of transparency was underscored because transparency, as our colleague said, would end the kind of speculative the process of speculation, which often accompanies the study of public opinion. And it was also said that the association could function as a protector of not only one company but also of the whole field and whole industry of public opinion studies. And so it could have very important function to play. And third, there was this wish that this development occurs not only in terms of business but also in terms of scholarly enterprise. So it's not just business in this industry, but also kind of science, scholarship, and this aspect also should be taken into account, and that's why the establishment of the association as well as the signing of the code is of utmost importance. Thank you very much, and I would like to ask the audience if there is somebody who would want to express the opinion or wishes or without this scripted or outside of the scripted scenario. Well, if there are none, I would like to thank all the participants, especially two persons. First of all, Adam Schmidt from USAID, who has been invaluable in his contribution to the whole setting out of the process. And second, Zarina Burgadze, I'm proud to say, from Ilya University, without whom all this couldn't be achieved. So thank very much to both of you. And thank you for the participation. We have great road ahead of us, and so hopefully we're going to go this road very soon.
And for the group here, USA pledges with the embassy and other partners to continue supporting this effort. And we appreciate being a partner and are excited about this accomplishment today. So I think a big hand of applause, because we're not all